So this is the big surprise I was talking about. If you look at that wall, that was a symbol of the CMC. That right there was CMC. Look at that. The sign is now down. The showroom is empty. Everything is falling apart. Look at that. Look at that. So this was one of the biggest, if not the go-to company when it comes to vehicles, when it comes to cars. CMC was a brand, man. And if you had a vehicle from CMC, you are it. Good morning. It is early morning in Nairobi. The city is up and about. Kids are going to school. Kids are going to school. So let's see what Nairobi has in store. Pedestrian crossing, do they ever respect it? No, they don't. You wait as if you are supposed to be the car. Nairobi skyline is beautiful in the morning. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh. And by the way, if you are a Nairobian, you're a Kenyan, you've been gone out there for 10, 20 years, whether you live in New York, London, Ontario, Canada, Sydney, Australia, I have a small assignment. Can you tell me in the comments what street this is? Right this minute. I mean, don't wait till later. Right this minute. This is definitely Nairobi for sure, but what street is it? In the meantime, Nairobi is changing a lot. Things have gone south a bit. Businesses are closing. So that is something you need to look out for those who want to invest. Do your homework. And you've heard a lot about Zakayo. Kenyans know who Zakayo is and the challenges we're experiencing with his government. Big challenges, man. So even for black diaspora who are interested in the country, just do your homework. It's a fairly cold morning, but everywhere you see parents with their kids. Restaurants are gearing up for business. Man, I love the skyline in the morning and the cold air. It's a beautiful rush on the face. So you can see this lady, she's shielding herself from it, but I'm loving it. So hidden in this, behind these bushes here, is Nyayo Stadium. there's a tournament that is coming up very soon, so they're doing a bit of spruce up. This is the biggest stadium within the city center, Nyayo Stadium. And for my South African brothers and sisters, Lucky Dube once performed here. He was a much loved artist in Kenya. I was running like a fugitive. It's sad to see him go at the hands of criminals. Really sad, really, really sad. So over there on the horizon is the Nairobi West Hospital. See it up there? So everywhere you look, Kenyans are trooping to work. Vijana wanajenga nchi. And I tell you, man, we are a hard-working nation, but the government can be a letdown. It really can. And they do not want to be criticized for failing to step up, live up to their game. So matatus, it's time to board. If you look over there, there's an old man already seated, looking for something to eat. I've actually given him some cash some time back. He comes from quite far actually to come and beg for some coins here. Our society, unfortunately, it does not have a proper policy for dealing with those who are physically challenged, you know, the disabled. Providing a network or the education or just the skills for their own life support. I mean, people don't want to be beggars forever. But I would rather a beggar than a criminal any day, man. Any day. I would rather deal with a beggar than a criminal. So you can see there's a cop station there that serves the stadium. At the back of that is the basketball court in there. So this is the Nyayo Stadium roundabout. Mombasa Road or Uhuru Highway linking up with Langata Road, going back that way. So I'm going to go across all the way to the other side, past Toyota. Busy traffic in the morning. So that takes you into town. You can see in the skyline over there, that's the new office for the members of parliament. It's taken out above the expressway. So here we go. Crossing here might be some gymnastics, like I said. Nobody ever respects pedestrian crossings. I mean, there's not even a road sign to indicate that there's a crossing here anyway. Look at that. Look at that. There we go. And we take it this way. Traffic gets heavy as you go. So up that side is Uhuru Highway joins Mombasa Way, Mombasa Road, and that takes you all the way to Mombasa, about 500 kilometers out of Nairobi city center. We are now joining Lusaka Road. This is the hub of vehicles in sale. If you look to my left, this is Toyota. This is Toyota right here. Toyota is strong in Africa, but the biggest sign that the economy is in trouble is right ahead of us. That's a big surprise for you, so stick along and we'll find out what lies ahead. So Lusaka Road early in the morning, everybody's out, the riders are out, they're ready for work. Hapa ni kazi tu. Now in the day, this back street here is the mechanic's heaven. That is the mechanic's heaven, man. Wako wengi hapo kama kitu ingine, and they'll try and stop you. But it's way. So this takes you to stadium. It's a very short distance actually. I've walked this distance before. It's 45 minutes walk to the stadium. So if you are feeling rather tired or lazy, you won't walk the distance. You won't walk the distance. So this is the other side of Nairobi that you may not want to see. Okay? Unfortunately, the hidden side of Nairobi, the carelessness, failure to take care of our environment. That's the saddest bit. So Shell Station is one of those many multinationals that you will find in this country. Massive. But I must say, not that because they're multinationals, but the branded stations are much safer to use for drivers in the country, just to avoid fuel adulteration. That's the beauty of it. Just avoid fuel adulteration. So I want to cross the road and show you something. This is the surprise I was talking about. If you look across where the smoke is billowing from, there's something there referred to as the Inch Cape. It's a company actually. And that company right there has got Chinese manufacturers. They are now entering the country in a big way. On the other side, right across there, where we saw Toyota, right somewhere there, you see the expressway over there. Just below it, you got the Toyota. In one of the showrooms down there, you now have the BYD, which is the Chinese brand. And that BYD, the Chinese brand, Elon Musk laughed them off, saying their cars are quite ugly. You know, they do the EVs, and now the EVs are catching up. Elon Musk and his Tesla was the market leader, but China has caught up with him. So this is the big surprise I was talking about. If you look at that wall, an Al-Futain Group company. That was a symbol of the CMC. Okay? That right there was CMC. Look at that. The sign is now down. The showroom is empty. Yeah? Everything is falling apart. Look at that. Look at that. So this was one of the biggest, if not the go-to company when it comes to vehicles, when it comes to cars. CMC was a brand, man. And if you had a vehicle from CMC, you are it, you know? Okay. Somebody is napping there. So clearly it's not a guard. It's just a haven for guys to now find home. You see? So CMC has fallen apart. Once the biggest car seller in the country, now totally gone. Look up there. CMCmotors.com. I wonder if you can still find that online. And China is here. So you'll see a lot of Chinese brands in the country now. So let's just take a quick walk and look at the Chinese cars that are now flooding the country. It tells you that China is entering Africa in a big, big way. So CMC is now gone. It is the seasons, the cycle of business. Today you are up, the next day you're down. So we are at Chimolatewa Road, right there. So here we go. Somebody's decided to ban the trash. So here are the motor brands. The motor brands. Okay. China is in town, man. So that is a service center. And you can see the Chinese cars over there. China in Nairobi. There are the Chinese brands. Like I said, on Uhuru Highway, you'll find the BYD. Okay? You'll find the BYD. And look at that. Checks all your boxes: enhanced safety, fuel efficiency, value for money, cutting edge design, 5-year warranty at 150 kilometers. So if you are buying a car, then for this Chinese brand, you know it is 150,000 kilometers before you can do any major service. Now, for a lot of vehicles, if you're looking at 100,000 kilometers, that is the main distance you need to go before you can have your vehicle properly serviced again, and a lot of changes done to it. So if you're a Kenyan and you're buying a Japanese car, this is free advice for you, man. Either buy one whose mileage is really, really low. Yeah, you see CMC Motors? It's one of the shops. Amazingly, this is still standing. Perhaps that is all they have left. So look like they provide the hero bikes in the country. Like I said, if you are looking at buying a car from Japan, a used car, whatever it is, then the main thing that you need to look out for is that mileage. Of course, the mileage can be tinkered with. The mileage can be tinkered with. But buy either a car that is really, really low in mileage, say below 50,000 kilometers, or something in the range of 150,000 and above. Because this is what will happen. By their requirements, their law, once a car has hit the warranty stage, then you have got to take it back for an overhaul. You've got to take back that car for an overhaul. So if you are buying a car that is at 90,000, then it means the person who is selling this car is offloading the problems to you, So that is the reality. So don't think that necessarily when the mileage is slightly high, you are at a disadvantage. You are actually better placed to buy a car that can serve you for another 100,000 kilometers before you consider a major service, a major overhaul. So that is a trick. And that is what car sellers don't tell you, that you have to watch out for that mileage. This right here, my people, is the roundabout that takes you towards the Go Down Art Center, which is on this side, the Mater Hospital. This is essentially South B, okay? This is South B. And this side takes you to town. See, the city horizon is over there. It's right over there. Yeah? So I want to take a walk back this side. I have noticed an interesting building. The Kenya Industrial and Research Development Building, Kirdi, which has not been done for the longest time. It's been a lifetime of these guys working on this building. Why they have never been able to fix it, I don't know. But with government projects, the more they take time, the more money is lost. Just, through the cracks. Through the cracks. Man, I love the mornings. The air is good, like I said. Fresh, you can walk for miles and miles. And if you look everywhere, everybody's walking, man. Everybody's out to work. So either you drop off at the city stadium and walk to where you need to walk to, or just take the long walk and enjoy the walk, So like I said, this is Kirdi. This is Kirdi right here. And you see the thing is falling apart. Yeah. Proposed development of research, technology, innovation laboratories and related infrastructure. But you're talking of infrastructure and your infrastructure is falling apart even before you occupy it. So that is Kirdi. School kids. Good morning. So that is Kirdi. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Gor Mahia FC, one of Kenya's biggest football teams. The Gor Mahia. Kogalo. And my brother's here from Burundi, selling breakfast. The East African community is massive. you've got Kenya, you've got Tanzania, you've got Uganda, you've got Rwanda, you've got Burundi, you also have South Sudan. So it's a huge block. It's a huge trading block. Massive. And our brothers and sisters from Burundi, some of them are here, obviously running away from war in their country, have found ways to, eke out an honest living. And there have been complaints from some Kenyans that they are invading our spaces, taking up jobs. But if somebody is creating an opportunity for themselves, really, what's the problem with that? And if we are talking about Africa, Africa belongs to all of us, all Africans. So why can't I go to Tanzania, for example, work there freely as a member of East Africa? And my Burundi brothers can also work, Shida iko wapi bana? Shida iko wapi? Watu wapendane bana. Kenya is in East Africa. We might also find ourselves in Burundi, au sio? Bwana. Ama wewe unaje historia ya Burundi kuuza chai na mandazi huko? Si mbaya sio? Wanajitafutia. Hawapigi mtu ngeta. Na hata sisi tunaweza jipata kwa shida in Kenya and can run away as refugees. Unajua Kenya tumezoea ile maisha, vitu zinaenda nywe. So hatuonangi ni kama tunaweza kuwa refugees. Na sasa hivi ile Zakaya anatupeleka Buda. Anything is possible. Tunaweza jipata tumevuka. Sawa, so unaelekea shughuli? Poa, moral jo. Hata mimi nachapa shughuli hapa kidogo. Asante, inabidi bana. Poa. So if you're in Lusaka, this along Lusaka Road, that's the police station that deals with a lot of the traffic issues and of course all other issues of crime. So that brother there was just very polite enough to share a few comments, and he also thinks that, if the Burundi brothers are out here making an honest living, why should it be a problem? The point is that because Kenya has generally been very, very safe, and Kenyans have gone about their business, except in the year 2007 when we had a major clash, turned tribal, and we lost, over 1,000 Kenyans, brutally taken out because of the political conflict. That is the one time that we really realized that it is possible for things to go wrong. It is possible for things to go wrong, but Kenyans by far have enjoyed peace. So for that reason, I think we tend to shun our brothers and sisters from across who are refugees and think that they are a problem, while really they are just trying to make an honest living. So let's allow them do that. So this is the police quarters, tucked away there. It's my Burundi brother. Mambo vipi? Yeah, so guys are out here, man, doing their thing. The morning is beautiful in Nairobi. This is actually downtown Nairobi, and it's called the industrial area. So from Lusaka all the way towards Mombasa Road, there are massive industries there. The only challenge is that with the new government that came into place, we've lost a lot of goodwill in terms of business community. Doing business in Kenya has become so damn expensive that I think just last week, the data that we saw was that over 100 companies have folded since this government came into place. So there's high taxation, and one of the biggest challenges is electricity. Electricity is expensive in this country. So people are losing out. People are unable to sustain their businesses. They're unable to keep their employees, to keep the industry running. And that will kick us out, man. So I totally get it. I totally get it. So the government of President Ruto, you have your work cut out for you. And experts have told us so many times that it is not by overtaxing that you're going to generate revenue that you need to run the country. You have got to achieve an equilibrium. You have got to strike a balance. If you are not able to do that, then you're just going to run down the country. That, unfortunately, is the sense of things. So we are now hitting Enterprise Road. So from your left there, where you've got another car company, that's DT Dobby. It's another massive one. And DT Dobby mainly sells a lot of the German brands, the Mercedes. Also big in Africa. Perhaps the biggest European brand in Africa, in Kenya, that can rival, well, to a small degree, Toyota. Toyota by far is still the biggest car brand in the country. So here we go. So you see, Kenyans are up and working, man. Look at the pace, look at the walk. Watu wako kazi. Businesses are opening up. This brother is already selling his breakfast out to Kenyans. So that's Enterprise Road for you. That takes you back to the city. If you look there, over there, on that horizon, that is the city of Nairobi. So that's about a 15-minute walk from that roundabout to this one. So in total, it's 45 minutes walk to City Stadium. School bus. Kids here travel long distances to go to school. And unfortunately, parents will stay very far off these schools and have their kids in the bus as early as 5 a.m. in the morning, 4:45. Just to get an education. And you can imagine how that is a challenge for kids. Well, it's breakfast time. Chapa tu kazi, chapa kazi. Yeah, so everybody's camera shy, man. I can understand that. She's doing her thing, earning an honest living. So it's a grand trek to work. It's a very short distance. It's the best way to keep fit to exercise. Walk 15, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to your place of work. I quite frankly like the idea. So like I said, this is the industrial area. So everywhere you go, it's massive go down, it's industry, it's car parts. these are half cuts. Obviously those are too old now, but we don't totally throw away cars here. We don't have big graveyards for vehicles. There's always a recycling, or what happens is people take up scrap metal as a business, and it's booming. It's booming. The only thing is it invites a lot of crime as well. That there's damage oftentimes to rails along the roadside, and thefts of metal property even within people's homes. So that's a big challenge. So this will join Jogo Road up that hill, and if you look at the power masts up there, the power lines, that is where you'll find the city stadium. It's a glorious morning. It's a glorious morning. So it's parents, it's school kids, it's workers. The truck is on. The sun is now just coming out, really striking a beautiful pose on the buildings. So this is the rail community. You might not see those buildings very well because of the sun, but right below there is Kaloleni Estate, or Ololo Massive as they call it. Man, trash is a problem in this country, unfortunately. So that's Kaloleni for you. And the largest community there families whose parents worked in the rail lines. So over the years, it was the quarters that Africans lived in, especially during the colonial time. And then towards the end of the colonial rule, one of Kenya's greatest sons was called Tom Mboya. He actually lived somewhere down here. Maybe one day I should take a walk to the house. So on the horizon you can see right over there and to the end, somewhere over there, that's the Nairobi skyline. That's the city of Nairobi. Everybody's working. Everybody's making something. So we are now finally at the city stadium, as Kenyans love to call it, say stadi. Machu Sako. Roast maize in the morning. So these right here, this is the public transport, the smaller ones, called the matatu. So they're all lined up here to pick up passengers in the morning. So matatu comes from the word three by the Kikuyu community, matato, which is essentially was 3 shillings. The very first of those vehicles that were allowed to operate within the country or within Nairobi by the colonial government were called matatu, because guys used to pay 3 shillings for that. And so that has stuck to date. So it's been adopted into Kiswahili to mean public transport vehicle. So that's City Stadium in the morning sun. And around the City Stadium, there's a lot of informal markets, stalls everywhere. And here you should be able to buy just about anything, including mandazi for breakfast, clothes, sportswear, bikes, utensils, anything and everything, you name it. It's early morning and you can see everybody's up selling. Here we go. If you love football, it's great merchandise there for you. Yeah. It's sportswear everywhere. Kenyans have a thing for Arsenal and Man U football teams. I quite honestly don't care about that. The amount of energy that, I mean, I know I can get some hating in the comments for that, but everybody has their point of view, man. Everybody has their opinion. You know, it's not my cup of tea. But the kind of energy that young men spend on football, spend on entertainment, enjoyment. You know, everybody has got their sin, man. Yes, but man, if you could just convert that into some gainful thing, rather than just chill at these jobless corners, so to speak, and hope for miracles. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So it's a working nation. It's a walking nation. So this is study market. This is study. If you look at the pace, you know Kenyans are out for work, man. Watu wanaenda kazi. Hapa ni kazi tu. These guys must have opened so early, man. Beautiful stuff. Breakfast before you go to work. Yeah. So essentially, this side of town is the eastland section of Nairobi, where you find the middle to lower income Kenyans, you know, living about, selling beautiful shoes there for kids, doing their thing, you know. That there is cassava for breakfast, and I think now I will take a walk up the footbridge onto the other side. So those buses, that's BYD, that's Chinese. See right there, the blue bus. That's Chinese in the country. So those are electric vehicles. Pole. Those are electric vehicles. Again, trash, man, always, man, it's sad. It's morning traffic into town. It's morning traffic into town. That's Kaloleni. That's Kaloleni in the horizon there. And that's the city stadium over there. Kaloleni City Stadium. Bari ndugu. So here we are doing our walk. Beautiful traffic into town. Again, the city is right there, right somewhere there. Yeah, so easily 20 minutes walk from Kaloleni into town. So, easily. And this is Bama Market. This is Bama Market. As you go down. That's Bama Market for you. It's a lot of these tin and pepper shacks, but Kenyans eke out a living, an honest living, out of these places. You can get your chicken ready, done for you. Yeah, it's all chicken, man. You can come, they have it slaughtered for you. And for 1,000 bob, 1,500 maybe on the higher side, you get your chicken. And so now, I want to take a matatu into Eastlands. So all this side, these matatus are coming from town, heading into Eastlands. Yeah. The sun is really strong ahead, but we get to see what our sisters are doing here. Breakfast. Broadways have got their little bread there. Yeah. So matatu into Eastlands. So Governor Sakaja, this is something you need to look into, man. Make Nairobi work, you say. Make Nairobi work. This is chaos here. This is supposed to be a storm drain. It looks more like a sewer line. Mtinda mwisho. Mtinda mwisho. Asante. So we are in Buruburu. This is Buruburu, once the most beautiful estate in Nairobi. These were built in the 1970s, so occupation from the 1970s all the way to 1980s. But now it's run down, there's shacks everywhere, and there's pubs everywhere, literally. I think that's the worst bit. And the development was never controlled, so there's all manner of structures in every corner. People have extended their homes, new buildings have come up. There's not a care in the world. Mambo ndio hayo. Mambo ndio hayo. But at the very minimum, like I said, Kenyans hustle, man. They fight for their bread. If you want to talk of a resilient nation, Kenyans are resilient. I can tell you that. So. Imeka kwa pienga siku hizi. Hata wezi notice. Yeah. So this is the Buruburu Shoppy. The Shoppy that we grew up in, man. We used to club here. There was a place here, I think it was called Friends. And a buddy of mine danced with some girl here. And a fight broke out. The next thing we knew, guns were drawn. What? I tell you, man. This is crazy. So there's all manner of structures everywhere. And one man's junk is another man's bread. Clearly somebody makes something out of these. So this is Buruburu Phase 2. And the clubs are here like crazy. Let me just show you a bit of that. So you look at the horizon there, the blue, white, orangish, and the brick, that's the original Buruburu. That's the original Buruburu. The rest is just structures built for business. You got salons, you've got barber shops, you've got wines and spirit shops, you've got laundromats, everything. So these are pubs, man, but this one looks dead. This one looks dead. This one looks dead. See that? That's Tents Lounge. This is one of those places that used to kick back in the day. But it was so noisy for the residents, you can imagine. Still is. Still is. So how they got their licenses, I guess things are what they are. Anybody, any Kenyan who might remember, there was Joseph Kaguzi. Joseph Kaguthi was a provincial commissioner in Moi's time. And Kaguthi was hell. Kaguthi was a soft-spoken guy that trouble for everyone. So he would stop some of these structures. He would stop the music from playing. Somehow people just kept coming back, rebuilding, and the night culture here has continued. There you go, Buruburu, phase 2. So look around. Buru may change. Buru has really, really, really changed. And the policy to build structures, to build housing for Kenyans, it's failed for so long that these are the last really beautiful places that were built. The most recent one is Nyayo Estate in Embakasi. And luckily for Embakasi, it's been done in a way that you cannot do any alterations. The best you can do is to have a canopy for your car or a tent area where you can hang out with friends, family. Beyond that, you can't do anything else. So it's a beautiful thing. So it's likely to have the same look many years to come. Buru, unfortunately, has been reduced to a shanty. And by the owners, quite honestly. So that's Buruburu for you guys. That's Buruburu. That's what it's been reduced to. The pictures speak for themselves. You look at the Buruburu before and the Buruburu now, it's a different space. Kume change, nikubaya. It is what it is. CMC, one of the biggest in the country, started way back in the 70s, I believe around 1974. Motor vehicle assemblies, so many brands. They have finally closed shop, and it looks like it's Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. Over 160 jobs lost. Do the math, even by just 4 to 5 members. But the reality is that the car market has changed. EVs are now the thing, and China is coming to Kenya in a big way. Let them do their thing. I think it's just a lesson for us to also step up and do our thing. What are we doing as Africa? What are we doing as Kenya? But many thanks, guys, that you've supported and watched this far. So obviously this makes sense to you. Subscribe, like, and share. And check out the next story. This is definitely Afrocentric. Here we connect you with the continent. We celebrate Africa. We definitely are all about Africa. Africa is our business. Many thanks. I'm out.